All right, well, good evening, everybody. My name is Taylor Richmond. I'm a past president of West Virginia WVACRAO and a member of our exec board this year. On behalf of our association and our virtual tour committee, we want to thank you so much for attending tonight's presentation. We've partnered with StriveScan to present a whole list of panels and representatives from colleges and institutions within West Virginia and surrounding states to provide you with information about all your higher education opportunities. And we have a great presentation for you tonight as well. Just a few housekeeping items. The presenters cannot see or hear you. Your camera and mics are turned off, but if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please utilize the Q&A function to type questions there, and your panelists will answer those as best they can. This is a recorded session, so if you miss anything or want to share or rewatch this presentation, you can do so once finalized and ready. They'll be available on our website, which is westvirginiacrao.org, WVACRAO.org. And on that site, you will also find a list of any of our remaining panel sessions that we still have available to you, as well as past presentations that have been recorded and saved there. So again, that's westvirginiacrao.org, WVACRAO. So please check that out. With that, we have a great panel for you this evening. We're going to turn you over to them now, and I'll see you all back in about 45 minutes.
Hi, everyone. My name is Michelle Richards-Babb, and there are 6 of us here today representing the First2 Network. And you'll notice that of the 6 presenters today, 3 of them are students, and all of them are what we consider first-generation college students. That means that neither parent graduated with a 4-year degree. As I said, my name is Michelle Richards-Babb. I am a professor of chemistry at West Virginia University, and I'm also the director of the Office of Undergraduate Research, and I do a lot with the First2 Network. I contribute as well as the other 5 members. Next slide, please. So what is the First2 Network? It is a network of entities throughout West Virginia that are working together to increase the number of students who graduate with STEM majors. And STEM is an acronym for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Those majors are the ones that we are focusing on. The focus of the First2 Network is on first-generation students and on other underrepresented students, meaning students who identify as Hispanic, African American, American Indian, Native Hawaiian, Native Alaskan. The First2 Network wants to provide students with a voice and input. These are central to the functioning of the First2 Network. Now, what do we mean by First2? Well, unlike me, I thought First2 meant first to go to college, but that's not necessarily what it means. In this context, it means the first 2 years of college, because it turns out that the first year of college and retention and persistence of students from the first year of college to the second year are critical to students staying in the STEM major. So the First2 Network focuses on activities during that first year and second year of college to improve persistence of those students in the STEM major. And students who are involved, they get paid. Students are paid to engage. And this list, I'm not going to go over the list because you're going to hear more about these things as we move forward. This list gives you a variety of ways that our students can get engaged and have a voice in the process. Right now, I'm going to turn it over to one of our current students. So I'd like to introduce you to MaeLynn Lansdowne. She's one of our First2 students. MaeLynn?
Hello, my name is MaeLynn Lansdowne. I graduated from Martinsburg High School, which is in the Eastern Panhandle. I am a freshman at State, and I actually found First2 through the summer immersion program this summer, which is on my next slide. So this summer, I was part of a summer immersion, which we actually studied fireflies, water, and bees. I actually live in the Eastern Panhandle, so it was very interesting at comparing the results of what I had compared to everyone else's who lived in the Charleston region. We basically monitored fireflies, and we got to see which type of species were living around us. For the water, we tested at 3 different sites to see if the water quality was. And for the bees, we actually examined which bees were actually popular around each of our areas.
Hello, I'm Jefferson Heimer. I graduated Clay County High School last year in Clay County, of course, and I'm now a freshman at WVU's Statler College of Engineering. I am planning on being a biomedical engineer. Next slide, please. I found First2 the same way MaeLynn did through their summer immersion experience. I went to the West Virginia School of Osteopathic Medicine site, where we performed water samples on local rivers and ponds, and studied them for dissolved O2, pH, turbidity, and microorganisms, which that part was the basis of our research. This really helped me understand how college research is a lot harder than high school research when you're not guided along the whole way. And additionally, now I am a student leader in First2, which has really allowed me to begin to network and take an active role in this program, which is actually why I'm here today. And lastly, I'm an embedded student, which allows me to provide feedback to my professors about their teaching of the material and whether I or fellow classmates are struggling, which really allows me and the whole class, the class as a whole, to have a voice in what they're learning and how well they're learning it.
Hello, I'm Carrie Hively. I am a graduate of Herbert Hoover High School from Clendenin, West Virginia. I'm a dietetics major here at Marshall University, and I'm a member of the First2 Network chapter here on campus. I am in charge, one of the people in charge of the social media for the club here at Marshall, and I'm also involved with student leadership. I also participated in the summer immersion program this past summer, and that was helpful in preparing me for college and my STEM degree. As a member of First2, I've been given unique opportunities. One of those is that I just recently started an internship through West Virginia Embry and the Marshall University Biomedical Science Department. Being part of the program has been really helpful with giving me resources and connections before coming here and starting my degree.
Hello, everyone. My name is Fatma Irfan. I am a recent graduate from West Virginia State University with my bachelor's in biology. I was part of First2 Network as a student. I served as a First2 scholar and director for a year, and I was an internship planning coordinator at one of the first immersion sites at West Virginia State. Currently, I'm working as an AmeriCorps member for the First2 Network, and my role involves around mentoring STEM students and advocating for student voice across the network statewide. So let me tell you about First2 Scholars program. So First2 Scholars is a program where STEM students in their freshman and sophomore year, students are provided with the opportunity to work in the lab, to do research and get hands-on science experience in their lab, and work up to 10 hours in a week where they are paid with the educational stipend. I myself was I started working as a research rookie in my sophomore year of college, and it was really helpful to not just learn science from the classroom, but also from the lab where I was actually seeing how science actually works. It really helped me be more successful as a STEM student. Talking about First2 Ambassador programs, First2 Ambassadors program is a program where college students, First2 Network leaders, scholars, and directors are eligible to go back to their high schools to share about their journey, how their journey has been as a first and underrepresented minority student at their colleges, and what are the challenges they have faced among their journey, what things have held them, and what things they wish they would have known. Kind of mentoring the high school students so when they come to college, they're more prepared about the college life and things that can be helpful for them, and sharing all the opportunities these students had sharing with their juniors in the high school. So we always we have First2 Ambassadors program after the fall semester ends in December. We also have some couple of students who will be doing First2 Ambassadors program, like MaeLynn is thinking of doing Ambassadors program this coming fall in December, where she will be going to her high school talking about her journey as a STEM student at West Virginia State and what things have helped her and how First2 has impacted her story as a first generation college student in biology. We have 6 campus involved right now. We have West Virginia State, West Virginia University, WVACRAO, Marshall, University of Charleston, and Fairmont State, where we have our campus clubs where students are able to meet each other and be there for each other socially. They do a lot of events, they go out for dinners. But this year, of course, with COVID, it has been different. There are a lot of activities going on Zoom where students meet and share their stuff that they're having a hard time in their classes. They talk about stuff, and it's a great place to make networks among the students and share about their journey, because it's you have some freshmen there, you have some sophomores there, where they can talk about what things have helped them. So it's really a place where you can be more friends with other people around you who are like you, and they can help you as in your story, in your STEM story. Statewide Student Leadership is a platform where we actually meet with all the campus clubs leads. So we have representative from each campuses as a mode of communication between First2 Network and the campuses, where there's one student representative from each campus, and we meet them every week to share about things that are helping their students and their campuses and things that they wish there should be and things they want to change about the network. So it's more about we already we want to do things that actually work for students. And I know with time everything changes with depending on next generation, and so we are just always here, always hearing what our student needs and how can we help them. So every week we meet with these students and talk about things that can be more impactful in their journeys. And now Dr. Foltz is here to talk about summer immersion.
My name is Dr. Michael Foltz. I am the chair of the Department of Chemistry and Physics at West Virginia State University, and along with Michelle, we serve as the co-chairs for the statewide program that we've been talking about with the Summer Immersion Program. As you heard, many of the students found the First2 Network through the Summer Immersion Program, where we try to recruit students who are entering college, so that summer between your high school senior year in college, to come on our campus and start getting involved with research, getting to meet your classmates, getting to talk to people who are pursuing that STEM degree alongside you. We want you to meet the faculty members, meet the people who are there to help you outside of the classroom, whether they be tutors, financial aid, coordinators for different programs, but give you a chance to meet them before classes begin. Go ahead and change the slide. One of the aspects that we work hard at is finding a research program that will help you get exposure. There are students who learn in a wide variety of ways, including books, but also hands-on real life circumstances where you get a chance to do the science, not just read about the science. And so we try to put you into a research lab that you have an interest in, so that you can then see this as a way to move forward with other research opportunities that we'll get to in just a moment. This 2-week program has many advantages that can help you build into a stronger academic undergraduate career, whether they be in the research labs. And 2 years ago, we had it in person. Last summer 2020, we had it as a virtual program. So regardless of what happens with COVID, we intend to have the programs this summer. Go ahead and to the next slide. These different students have had a chance to work with the instrumentation, got a chance to work with environmental science, and you can see that they work at West Virginia State University, Green Bank Observatory, WVU, Marshall. Got a nice list at the end of all the sites that took part in summer 2020, but then we encourage you to present your work at places like the Undergraduate Research Day at the Capitol or different professional meetings, should your research continue to where you have strong results to then disseminate, to share with the scientific community. Go ahead, next one. We want you to meet your classmates, talk to your classmates, so that when you start day one, you know some people in the classroom next to you, so that you can then share your struggles, that you can then encourage and talk to one another. One of the great benefits of this program is that it gives you a chance to talk to students from across the state of West Virginia. The picture that you see here is one where West Virginia State University and Marshall got together for just a evening kickball tournament or evening kickball and dinner, which was paid for by the professional society, the American Chemical Society, where they also got a chance to meet with professionals in their area, the people that had the jobs that they wanted to do. And they got a chance to talk with them and find out how to get there and how to be successful. Now, that's just one of the activities. There are a lot of other things that goes on, whether they be making meals together, games, just getting a chance to meet your faculty members outside of the classroom. So in a less strenuous environment, less stressful environment. So you get to know who your faculty members are and they can meet you and just find out a little bit about you as the student. Now, once again, we've done this both in person and virtual. So we're waiting to start summer 2021, where we can then engage this upcoming year's incoming freshman class. Go ahead. And you can see where we do a lot with food. First2 Network is big on making sure that the students are fed, where sometimes it'll be just a full-blown meal, sometimes it'll just be snacks. Now, one of the great things about the program, like I'd mentioned before, is just the intercollegiate conversations that you get to have. The gym photo here, we have one student from Concord, one student from West Virginia State University, one student from Fairmont State University, and one student from West Virginia University, all getting together and having a conversation about academic programs and success and what their career goals are. Keep going. We try to take you out to meet the different career opportunities that await you as a STEM graduate, so you know exactly what you want to do, whether they be to a chemical research company like you see before you. ChemWars has hosted students before. We try to get you out to meet the people who are doing the jobs that you want, so that maybe you have that conversation, get some tips on building the academic career that you want to have, and find out what it takes to get into the professional school or graduate schools that you want to pursue. We take you around on campuses so that you get a chance to find out where all of the different offices that you'll need to be successful: financial aid, counseling services, tutoring services, undergraduate research coordinators, the library, what resources are available for you to be successful. And then, of course, getting you some exposure to undergraduates who have succeeded in the career or succeeded in those classes that you're about to begin. Now, those undergraduates that you are looking to work with can help you excel in those freshman level classes, find out who the professors are, give you some guidance on what it takes to be successful with any individual faculty members. But we want you to meet your classmates, meet the students that have gone before you, and talk to them. Build that network that you need so you can have the conversations about your career goals. And I mean, here's just some photos where the students have gotten a chance to go to conferences and learn about leadership and engagement. They've gotten to go visit the Charleston area medical clinic and find all the different careers that a hospital has beyond just MDs, but the biologists, the chemists, the technicians, the computer science people. the people that they need to run the hospital that are oftentimes in the background because they're not the ones that the patients are meeting with. And then chemical research companies that are dotted throughout West Virginia that are needing people who want to be here, that want to work in the STEM career and make a difference. Go ahead. Now, there are, like I said, many advantages to applying and taking part in that summer immersion program. You get to learn about the school that you want to attend. One of the main advantages is that you get a 2-week job. You get paid to take part in these research opportunities to build your career. And you get to meet your classmates. You get to find motivations that you did not even know about, where you get people to encourage you. You get to meet the people who are doing your job. You get to meet the people that are going to help you build that career. And then with that 2-week program, students have turned that 2-week program into academic year research programs. West Virginia University has the RAP program, where you get to know that to be eligible for it, you have requirements, and Dr. Richards-Babb can tell you about some of those, about checking the work study box on your financial aid form, the Research Rookies program here at West Virginia State University, or the First2 Scholars, where the First2 Network supports some students to work in those research labs as well. And you get to build your communication skills, learn how to communicate the science of what you're doing. Now, students are presenting the results of their research activities so that they feel they have some confidence in presenting that research, that using the terminology, and just learning how to present. And the biggest thing is it is a 2-week crash course on preparing for your undergraduate years to help you in any way that we can. And there have been a lot of students that have commented about how that 2-week program has been beneficial to them as they start that freshman year. So with that, we're going to turn it back over to Dr. Richards-Babb. Oh, sorry. Their 2020 state research partners, the sites that had the people who had sites in summer 2020, many universities, but also High Rocks, Green Bank. And for those who are interested, the West Virginia School of Osteopathic Medicine for biomedical engineering, MDs, people who want to go into those medical career. So with that, Dr. Richards-Babb.
Hi, everyone. I just want to tell you a little bit about how First2 got started, because it didn't start from nothing. So the First2 Network began as a pilot project in 2016 with a little bit of money from the Federal National Science Foundation. In this pilot project, it was a 2-year pilot project, network partners, and it was mainly at that time Fairmont State University and Green Bank, the National Lab. They piloted the 2-week-long summer internship for rural first-generation college students who are attending West Virginia colleges. And the activities were geared towards providing students with that early exposure to STEM research. And these are the students who had graduated from high school but weren't yet in college, but were intending to go in college. We call those rising college freshmen. They also supported student leadership and agency throughout the following year to provide that student voice so that faculty aren't deciding what gets done, but students and faculty together are deciding what gets done. Because the pilot project was successful, the network that was forming at the time wrote a proposal in 2018, submitted it, and then in September 2018, the First2 Network now received National Science Foundation funding in what's called to form what's called an Includes Alliance, and they were awarded $7.15 million. That's a lot of money. But that money is to be spent over 5 years. But the cool thing is that the National Science Foundation thought that the state of West Virginia was of value enough to give the state and this network that amount of money. And then given there are the award numbers for those grants, there's several different tasks. Next slide, please. So the goal of the First2 Network is to increase the number of first generation and other underrepresented students who graduate with STEM degrees in West Virginia. There are a lot of students who start in the STEM degree, but for various reasons, they end up changing their major or dropping out of college. We want to get them to persist. So the aim is that over the next 10 years, we want to double the graduation rate from 30% to 60% of those students in West Virginia who enter college and declare a STEM major, but then stay in that STEM major and complete that STEM major within 4 years. That's the overall aim of the First2 Network. And we can't do it at just one institution. We need a network to do that over the whole state. So there is this shared vision to double the number of STEM undergraduates graduating. First, there's this research study going on to advance our understanding of the factors that impede rural first generation students from persisting in STEM careers and in STEM majors. Secondly, we want to build a collaborative culture, meaning build a network that results in a sustainable, long-lived improvement network that exists beyond the grant itself, the 5-year grant itself. We need to do that throughout the whole state of West Virginia. It has to include K through 12 programs. It has to include nonprofits. It has to include industry partnerships, and then colleges and universities, and even the State Division of Science and Research and Education. And another goal is that we must amplify student voice and input so that they can help us to change what needs to be changed and not change things that are already working. The future depends on today's students who are involved in the First2 Network. They're the ones who are going to carry it forward and continue it beyond the 5-year grant. We want to create a model program for other states with similar economies so that they can take what we did with the First2 Network, pick it up, and hopefully do the similar things in their own states. Next slide. Here are our current First2 partners. We have a lot of them. Notice there's a lot of colleges and institutions, but we need more. We need all of the colleges and institutions within West Virginia. And then we need more nonprofits like High Rocks. We also need industry as well. Right now we have Chemours and Toyota. We need more. We want to expand on this. Next slide. And that's pretty much it for our presentation. We hope that you have a lot of questions for us. We'd be glad to answer any question about First2 or even about going to college. And our students would definitely be glad to answer questions. Please ask our students, MaeLynn, Jefferson, and Carrie some questions. Thank you, and we're glad to take your questions.
All right, well, thank you everyone for your presentation. I don't see anything in the Q&A just yet, so I would definitely encourage some of your students maybe to utilize this time to expound upon some of their experiences that they would like to highlight, or any other areas that Dr. Babs or you, Dr. Fultz, have that might not have made it into the presentation that can expound upon what the program has to offer.
Does any of the students want to say anything? The applications, if you are interested in taking part in the summer immersion program, the applications will be posted on the website very soon, probably early January. And if you have any questions about the application process, you could always leave a comment at the website, and Fatima will get back to you, or someone will get back to you to answer those questions. Fatima, do you still have the slide that has your contact information?
Yeah, I can pull it up again.
But if you do have anything to follow up, questions, and you have an interest in the summer immersion program, and you don't get notification that the application is available in January, make sure you to email Fatima so that she can get you that application link to apply. This has been a fantastic program for students to get engaged and find out what it is that they want to do once they start that freshman year.
Could our students comment on one or two things that have really helped them as they've gone into their first semester of the freshman year? Maybe Jefferson could go first, then MaeLynn and Carrie.
I guess for me, the biggest thing that First2 has taught me, and specifically the immersion experience going into my first year, was just understanding the time constraint for everything. I don't know how I worded that, but so I wasn't too knowledgeable on how everything for assignments and how there's significantly more assignments in college that are given to you with a longer window to complete them. And in high school, you're reminded every day because your teachers know you personally, or it's all on the board. You're there every day. In college, you're there once, twice, 3 times a week. And with online classes, you might never go there. So you have to, it's up to you a lot more to follow up or to follow along with your assignments and know when everything is, and even have a planner if that's necessary. It is for me. I was struggling with one early this year.
MaeLynn?
It's definitely different. This is actually my first year and actually being in a college. I know in high school you kind of had like your teachers kind of remind you like, hey, like you missed this, like here's your paperwork. Or I even had a teacher in high school who helped me get organized a lot because I was not an organized person. But definitely college did teach me how to be organized myself and kind of pace myself in each course. So I knew what I needed to get done and what I could possibly prioritize. So yeah.
Carrie, are you able to add anything? Are you able to?
I feel like it's been really beneficial with giving me connections. Like that's probably the biggest thing I found so far has been just connecting with other students and even professors and stuff like that.
Maybe also our students could talk a little bit about what it's like going to college during COVID and like how many of your classes are actually virtual versus in person versus hybrid. And I know it's different at the different schools. So Jefferson, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. And as you said, I'm sure it's quite different at like State and Marshall. So I'm actually excited to hear the other ones talk as well. So I'm a freshman at WVU, as I said, and WVU tried to have the majority of freshman classes in person just to keep freshmen from dropping out immediately to the high stress of all online, which is awful. So most of my classes are in person. My only strictly online classes are my labs for chemistry and biology. My biology lecture itself. Yeah. And then my chemistry class is hybrid, where the lectures are online, but we meet once a week for a recitation where we go over the material covered in lectures. Yeah.
MaeLynn?
So I've actually got pretty lucky this semester. Most of my classes are all online. The only classes I actually have to go in person is my labs for biology. It states are actually pretty straightforward if you have like hybrid class. Professors are actually like very helpful. So if you want to, you have a choice to go in person classes. However, they're pretty much okay with you choosing to do online and reaching out that way.
Carrie?
I have a mixture. I have about half online classes and half in person. I feel like it would have been better if I could have had them all in person, but right now that's not ideal. But it's been really beneficial because you can also go online. So if you're going to miss class for some reason, there's also the option to just attend virtually that day. So that's been a good thing.
So I have another question. Do you think you would have done as well with all this kind of stuff with COVID if you hadn't been involved with First2? Meaning, how did First2 like help you approach that first semester when there was all this uncertainty?
I think that it was helpful because we attended the program over the summer virtually. So I had already understood how to work Zoom and Teams, and I was better at being prepared for doing that for some of my classes than I would have been if I hadn't been involved with it.
During the summer, we actually had the opportunity to meet most of like the deans. So that was very helpful. I knew exactly who to talk to and how to get what done at certain times because I already met them during the summer. And also I built a lot of friendships during it. So when I came to state, I wasn't really alone. I knew some people, so that was a huge help.
Yeah, for me, I feel it would have been a little bit harder had I not gone to the intern or the immersion experience or been a part of the network as a whole. Because similarly to MaeLynn, I made friends during the experience that made me feel less alone in my first year, which when you're mostly online or stuck in your dorm most of the day, it's really easy to feel alone. And yeah, it's about it.
Fatima, do you have any advice for the students as a First2 kind of graduate, right? Do you have any advice for the students online or the ones that are here that things that really worked for you and that First2 did for you?
Yeah, I would say whenever you feel like you're struggling or you feel like there's something you're finding hard, talk about it with your professors, your teachers. Most of the times your teachers are there to help you out. They want you to succeed. That's why they're there. And if you have any opportunities coming your way, take advantage of that, because I think you can make most of your college years if you get involved and you make connections, you make networks. And it really makes you feel good about yourself too, because you're just not going to college to just get your classes done. You actually become part of it. Like I personally went to West Virginia State and it was really good. I made connections and I felt like state was my home, and I would just come to I live in Charleston, but I'm just coming to home to just sleep. Honestly, I was there on campus all day, studying with my friends, talking to my friends, being involved on campus. I was part of ACS club. We would do a lot of social activities. So I made a lot of friends on my ACS club as well, because when I was involved there, a lot of these people were in my classes too. So I was able to make connections. And if there was anything I was having a hard time in my classes, I would just go straight to my professors instead of just keeping it to myself. Because the more you keep it to yourself, nobody would find out like somebody needs help. You need to tell them that you need help. So I think, and then there are other stuff that people didn't know. Like when I was in college, I didn't know like there's free tutoring services until I became a tutor. So I became a tutor, and that's how I realized the student gets free tutors. So like if you're having a hard time in some STEM majors, there are a lot of seniors, juniors and sophomores who took their classes, made A's in them, and they're able to teach that. And they know that material recently, and they can teach you in a more friendlier way as well. I mean, sometimes you can have that barrier that professor is a lot more educated, and you can feel like maybe that's a dumb question. First of all, no question is dumb. Second of all, but tutoring gives you more advantage to just have one-on-one experience with one person. And yeah, I think be involved with campus and stay motivated and get involved on campus. Yeah.
Mike, do you have any questions for the students?
Don't sell yourself short. Make other people tell you no. Apply for opportunities, apply for scholarships that you find out about. College can be expensive, but with the different areas that you can find financial aid can really offset those costs. And when you are applying, have confidence that you're equal, no matter where you come from, that you can do the work. And just don't sell yourself short. If you want to go to college, it's going to be work. But if you want it and you want to succeed, it's going to be a labor of love that you can enjoy, and that you can do it. Just don't be afraid to ask for help.
Sherry, did we have anything coming in the Q&A?
No, we did not.
Do you have anything you want to tell the students, the ones who are online or the ones that are here in our panel?
Well, first of all, excellent job, but also your stories are very inspiring. I too am a first generation student, and I was not as successful as you are. It took me an additional 20 some years to get my bachelor's degree. So I applaud your efforts and your resilience and persistence. And I think you are really inspiring to other students. You know, I would love for us to just be able to get the word out about First2 Network, because I feel like, wow, if they could just know that First2 Network exists, it could totally change their lives.
And we should introduce Sherry. Sherry Mitchell is an advisor at Fairmont State University. Is that correct, Sherry?
It is, yes.
So you can see that we have lots of representation just here in this panel. Fairmont State, West Virginia University, we have West Virginia State University, we have Marshall, we have High Rocks, that's where Fatima is at. So lots of representation, and we all work together. That's what the First2 Network does. We work together towards the common good for all of our students, not just the students at our own institution. And you can see that student voice is very important. We want the students to have input, and we want them to feel valued, and then we want to pay them too. Any last comments, anyone?
I would like to say one more thing, especially for high school students, when you guys are transitioning from your high school student life to a college student, it's more about you learn along the way that how to make priorities, because you have like tons of assignments due every week. You need to make sure you're getting all of them done before time, so you're not really struggling at the last moment, because then it's really hard to get help too, because if it's due at 12 and you're opening it at 10 o'clock in the night, it's really hard to get it done, especially when you cannot reach out to any professor too. So start earlier and make priorities. If you have to miss some kind of family event because of some exam, do that. But also just create a good work-life balance. I really learned how to create a good work-life balance as a student. Most of my time was spent in college studying and getting most of the important things ever in my life. So you just learn that. And by the junior year, you're like, yeah, I have a good hold of it. That's why First2 Network is about supporting you to the first 2 years, because we know if you can get through that barrier, now you are getting into that phase that you have an idea of all the things you can do.
I agree, and I just like to double up on what Dr. Foltz said. Don't sell yourself short. Like, you belong here. You are very worthy of going to college, attending college, graduating from college. You're valuable. You don't know what you can contribute to your fellow students and to your college community.
Well, everyone, I thank you for this fantastic presentation. I thank you to our students for their insightful information and opening up their experience to those who are watching. I definitely, from someone who started off in STEM and didn't stay there, I definitely wish I had this program many years ago when I went through it. And it might have changed where I ended up. And I'm sure it's definitely doing that for all the students who are participating and come through and participate in the future. So Dr. Richard Babb, Dr. Foltz, and everyone, thank you for your time today. I think this has been a very informative session, and I look forward to it being seen by a lot of students out there and your program growing from it. So with that, I do have one final slide to share with everyone. Oh, let me just switch off of that and do it this way. There we go. So again, thank you also to everyone who attended and is watching. You're definitely, I'm sure, more informed about opportunities that you have that you didn't know about before. When I close out our presentation here in just a few seconds, you will be asked to complete a quick survey, just 4 questions that help us improve our sessions for the future. Again, you can find a recording of this presentation on our website, as well as a list of future sessions, and that's at westvirginiaacrao.org, WVACRAO.org. Again, we thank you for joining us this evening and hope to see you at another session soon. Thanks and have a great day.
Thanks, Taylor. Thank you, everyone.